right, welcome to the impressions video of the week. Not a review, as this is an early access title. And what an early access title it is. As up this time is Putinist Slayer. Putinist Slayer is a fast-paced action about destroying Putinists in deep space. Let loose in infinity roguelike shoot-'em-up with sticky gameplay. Kill hordes, dodge, upgrade, eliminate bosses, and reach new highest records. With memes from Ukraine. So, yeah. This is kind of a tale of two games because, you look at this thing and clearly this looks like one of those comedy meme games that we sometimes review on this channel.
And it is, but this one has political purpose.
Yeah. This is probably one of the most political games we've covered on the program. Or at least overtly political. Like, this is definitely taking a political side. That's basically...
I mean, this is literally a Ukrainian-made game.
Not just a Ukrainian-made game, but this is done by the anonymous art group Bunker 22 that was formed during the Ukrainian war, which is still ongoing at time of recording. And indeed, there is at the very least a link in the game itself to help the armed forces of Ukraine.
Yeah, I clicked that. I did not click that, rather, so I don't know exactly what that does.
I'm assuming that takes you to a donation site.
Might be that. Yeah, that's what I expected.
Now, I'm not sure if the proceeds from this game go to help the armed forces or any sort of charity, but I think you have to disclose that kind of thing. And
I think so.
I don't see that here on the I don't see that here on the Steam page. But like, so here's the actual plot of the game. The plot arc of this game goes through the history from the destruction of Kiev in 1169 by the founder of Muscovy, Prince Andrei. I am going to mangle this.
I don't remember it, and that. All of the stuff is mostly in the intro crawl, which is really long, by the way.
Yeah, I kind of just skimmed over it.
Yeah, and the crimes of the Soviet Union against the people of Ukraine to the mystical futuristic version of nowadays. Putinistas have performed a dark ritual that opened a breach to another dimension in the walls of the Kremlin. In a fit of narcotic mystical insanity, they dove into an distant alien space in order to involve mysterious demonic creatures in the war against all humankind. However, the Ukrainian intelligence services acquired their routes. I gotta admit, ethnocentricity is interesting when it's not yours.
Indeed.
So yes, you play as the flying head of Vladimir Zelensky or several other world leaders, including current and former. Boris Johnson is still one of them because at least, I don't know, he didn't seem to be.
He wasn't pro-Russia, unlike a certain former U.S. president?
Yeah.
Elongated Muskrat apparently used to be in the game but was removed. And there's one person on the far right of the character select who I did not recognize, who said they required Halloween points to unlock or some shit, which I don't fucking know what is. So you're flying through space, shooting up heads of flying heads also of people who are important in Putin's government in Russia, and also orc heads and pig heads, and some other things that are not heads. And yeah, so clearly the primary intent of this thing is to be a propaganda meme machine, which is reasonably good at. As a shooter, it has a little bit of shortcomings. One, it has vertical scrolling in its horizontal movement that is sometimes there and sometimes isn't. Two, I can't say for sure, although the fact that they say that it's roguelike suggests that it may be, that the enemy formations are largely randomized rather than being something fun to learn and play against. Like most shooters have mostly programmatic enemy formations. Also, the frickin' asteroids look like they're stuff you can crash into, and I don't think I ever have.
Yeah.
I don't think you actually can. The power-ups are perhaps slightly too random and perhaps slightly too uncommon, which is part of the randomized enemy formations, I think. Because part of the programmatic enemy formations is usually that you get power-ups every so often. Also, I don't know if the Santa Hat power-up does anything.
I don't know either.
You do at least get a health bar that's clearly visible and like it's not gradated, so you have 3 big sections and then hits generally take off either up to a big section and usually a little bit less than that, I think. Or a bit less than that. So it is at least you don't die in one hit, and it's easier to track your health. But yeah, it was always really annoying to me when you're going up and down, and when the screen can scroll up and down some, and you get too comfortable on the top or whatever, and then something starts shooting upwards from the bottom. You don't see it. Also, the meme pop-ups are slightly distracting sometimes. And also some of them actually attack you.
Yeah.
Because of all of this, I never actually even managed to get to the first boss. Because eventually there's just a lot of stuff shooting at you I'm not great at bullet hell, and it felt like this is less carefully designed than most bullet hells are.
Yeah, you know what this game reminds me of? A Parodius game.
Yes, it's kind of like a very specifically political.
Yeah.
Except that Parodius was made by the same people that made Gradius, which are they actually like designed enemy waves carefully and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah, there's one of the pop-ups that actually attacks you. So yeah, honestly, if you want a space shooter, there are better space shooters. But if you want a like pro-Ukrainian meme game, I imagine there's not a whole lot of competition in that field. And this certainly is one of those.
I would be kind of wary about using the link to support the Ukrainian armed forces in the game itself. They're a lot better.
I did not click that and don't recommend clicking it.
Yeah, there are a lot better ways to do that. But that's just my own personal opinion.
I mean, as far as I know, the game is just mining crypto to support Ukraine or something, but
or it could be mining it for Russia. No one knows. Not that I'm accusing anybody of that, but just...
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. It's just I don't actually know.
Yeah. With something like this, it's hard to recommend doing something like that when we don't know.
But yeah, if you wanted to shoot up floating heads of people in the Russian government, and there are also some interesting There is a bestiary thing that like has somewhat historically accurate and somewhat game accurate profiles on some of the enemy targets.
Mhm.
So that's a thing. But yeah, I don't know. Mostly I was kind of baffled by this and a little bit frustrated by some of the mechanics. But if you're more into shooters and are willing to accept a little bit of weirdness or a little bit of control and mechanical weirdness in order to acquire a lot of thematic weirdness, this is probably something for you. How much does this cost?
Let me see here. This game will clock in at $9.99.
Maybe a little high. I don't know. Also, hey, it's Putin riding on a bear with, I
Yeah.
believe the bear has the head of Dmitry Medvedev, who was the guy who was, was president for a few years in between Putin's stints before Putin just made it so he could be president forever.
Yeah.
The joke being that Medvedev means, his last name means bear.
Also worth noting, the soundtrack is available also for $9.99.
That would mostly be for meme purposes, I think.
Wow, there's a lot of...
Yeah, there's a lot of shit in there.
Yeah. And let's be
There's
honest.
also a link to why Russia is fascist somewhere on here,
Yeah.
which I also did not click on.
Oh, it's just a thing, just another bestiary entry. It's...
Okay, so
mean,
it's just a info.
It's a manifesto.
Yeah. Which is fair. Just like I said, this is a very political game. If you want to read political stuff from the one side of the thing, that's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
I am pro-Ukraine. I don't know if I'm 100% pro this game, but mostly, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even propaganda that you agree with is sometimes a little bit weird, I guess, is the feeling I have. Or that you are on the same side as.
Right.
Does anybody have questions or comments?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the Elon Musk was removed due to saying something positive about Russia or something.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that'll about do it for the review session this week.
Mm-hmm.
And coming up on the week ahead, on Wednesday, February 8th, Rue from the Retro Room returns to our shores. As you know, we'll be talking about more retro games. Let's see, I believe that Ilya and the Crystal War. I'm trying to think if that was the Dune game that had to be changed. Like, I want to say that came out. I know Dune Spice Wars came out last year, but let's see. We are also looking to talk about Airball, which is upcoming for the NES and GBA of all things, and Big Too Small. I think did we talk about Chips Challenge last time?
I don't know if we ever actually ended up talking about that.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when a couple of years go by in between interviews.
We might have.
Anyway, on Friday, February 10th, we will be attempting to interview Ilyana Svanzade of Fulcrum Publishing. We did have this scheduled for last week, but I made the call to delay it because, well, I had a plumber over here during the day Friday because there has been a leak in the sink in the kitchen, and that's been a whole thing. And I didn't feel like doing a show while a plumber was around, and still dealing with that sink issue, but that's being dealt with on Tuesday. So hopefully we have this interview this Friday. Though he hasn't exactly, he's still been unresponsive. So we'll see. And yeah, we also do have a new episode of Moonhawk Studios Presents. Hopefully Mac's life will be sorted out enough that he can join us this week.
He has said some things about changing about his job setup that hopefully will do that.
Well, I guess we'll find out on Wednesday. Till then, I shall wish you good gaming.